Good evening, everybody. Namaskar. And my name is Sarita Jadhav. I work as a National Program Officer in the UNESCO New Delhi office. I welcome you all to the online sensitization program of school principals on health and wellness program. This program is being implemented jointly by CBSE and UNESCO in all the schools affiliated to the CBSE. I welcome you all and a very special welcome to Madam Nidhi Chibber, Chairperson CBSE, Dr. Ram Shankar ji, Director Training CBSE, Mr. Sandeep Jain. We are also very delighted to have with us Dr. Zoya Rizvi, Deputy Commissioner, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Professor Saroj Yadav, former Dean Academic in NCRT, Ms. Joyce Poan, Program Specialist, my supervisor from the UNESCO New Delhi office, Mr. Shailendra Sigdil, and we will be later joined by Professor Amarendra Behera, Joint Director, CIET. We are also joined by some learners from CBSE schools who will be here with us today sharing their experiences. I would, as I mentioned, this program, how it is very important. All of us know that we have been collaborating with the CBSE since last year. In August 22, we had some programs. And just to give you a very brief background, India has the largest adolescent population in the world, almost 253 million. And every fifth person is between the age group of 10 to 19 years. Despite significant progress in education and health, our adolescents face a wide range of issues concerning nutritional deficiency, reproductive health problems, mental health, physical ailments. A lot of violence and bullying also happens. And in order to address all these issues, the Government of India, especially the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and the Ministry of Health, have collaboratively developed a comprehensive school health and wellness program, which was launched by our Honorable Prime Minister in April 2018. After that launch, it took us almost 2 years. There was a national resource group that was set up at the country level, which had representatives from NCRT, from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, different government agencies, UN agencies, as well as academia, civil society organizations. We developed the curriculum framework and the resource guide, which served as a basis for successful implementation of the school health and wellness program. As part of this program, I would like to inform the principals who are present over here. We all know the importance of school leaders, the principals, in implementation of any program in schools. As part of this program, we have requested the principals, and according to the operational guidelines, every school will have 2 teachers who will be the health and wellness coordinators, and every class will have 2 students who will be the health and wellness messengers. I would like to share that a number of events have taken place during this partnership that we have. We started with the orientation of all the heads of centers of excellence. This was held in July 2022. Thereafter, we had held an online orientation session for all school principals in August 2022. Some of you may have heard me before, some are new, so it's indeed a great honor and privilege for us at UNESCO to be presenting this to you again. After these orientation sessions, we've had 4 batches of training for master trainers. The Centers of Excellence have identified and handpicked master trainers from the CBSE schools, and we've had 4 batches of training which were held in New Delhi at the NCRT office here in Delhi. Currently, we're very delighted to share with you that when we did the training of master trainers, we have covered almost 180 last year and a similar number this year. These master trainers have gone back and through the capacity building programs, CBPs, have reached out to thousands of teachers, and they are successfully implementing this program in the schools. There is a lot that has been done, and I would like to express our gratitude and appreciation to Madam Nidhi Chibber for her leadership. A lot remains to be done. And we are very keen that this program be implemented uniformly across all the schools affiliated to the CBSE in the true spirit of the SDGs, which states leaving no one behind. We are keen that every child, every learner gets an opportunity to learn about health and wellness so that they grow up as informed individuals that will help them to transition smoothly into adulthood. So, without much further delay, I would like to request Madam Nidhi Chibar, Chairperson CBSE, to kindly address everybody. Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. My colleague in CBSE, Dr. Ram Shankar, Director Training, Dr. Zoya Rizvi, Deputy Commissioner, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Professor Saroj Yadav from NCRT, and the UNESCO team under Ms. Joyce. Very happy to be here in this orientation program. And I remember it started last year, and I had just joined, and my director training had also just joined his new post, and we had embarked on this program. And I'm very happy to know that a lot of progress has been made in terms of training of resource persons, and now it is a well-known program, so to say. Yes, because of the sheer numbers, even in the CBSE school, we do have to reach more people, but I would say a very promising beginning has been made. Before I joined this session, I was addressing another group of CBSE principals and mentor teachers and peer educators. We have been running since 21 a peer educators learning program, again, which is focused on mental health and wellness. It was starting during COVID times with the aim of providing life skills to our adolescent students. And today marked its 75th training program. So it is something on similar lines. Of course, learning never stops, and I have already told Dr. Ram Shankar and my director academics to basically, bring these two programs together. And when I was addressing them, I was also telling them about the UNESCO program and, asking the principals who have not yet nominated their teachers as wellness ambassadors to do so. So it would really help if both these programs are synergized together, so to say. And I'm sure Director Training will look into it, and you will find a much more receptive audience, because I was a part of this peer leadership summit, which we are holding 4 places. We are holding this year where real-time problems are given to the school students, and they have to prepare plans on how to tackle problems like drug abuse, how to tackle problems like bullying in schools, and all these things. So, and very, very innovative ideas they come up with. So I'm sure both the programs can learn and build upon each other. And this is a unique opportunity for principals who have not yet joined this program to join us. This orientation will give you a flavor of what the program has in store for your teachers, for your students. How does it help them? As outlined, in the program, in the letter which we have sent to all the teachers, it has very important themes which are very relevant to our times, like gender equality, like nutrition, health and sanitation, like promotion of healthy lifestyle. These are things which we often forget when we are at school. Our preoccupation is with, completing the curriculum, going for exams. These things which impact actually the academic performance somehow, fall by the wayside, so to say. So we at the board are very conscious of this fact, and we are specifically aiming to promote the consciousness of our principals and teachers that this is a very important area which they need to work with. And for this purpose, we have already developed, as was mentioned, a CBP, which we offer to our teachers. And we are also in the process of now integrating a small module for mental health and wellness, which we will try to incorporate in all our CBPs, irrespective of the subject of the CBP. And of course, we are also planning on very detailed CBPs on specific, learning disabilities, on specific mental health issues. And I'm sure Dr. Ram Shankar would be able to elaborate better on that. And we will take UNESCO's help and NCERT's help in developing these programs as well. But for the limited purpose of this program, I assure both NCERT and UNESCO that CBSE would be very, very, forward-looking and would welcome your help and cooperation, because we find this is a very important area. And just like Expressions India, UNESCO is an important partner in, bringing this level of realization and consciousness to our teachers and students. And we look forward to more collaborations like this. And I'm sure after this orientation, you will have much more principals who will be coming to you, registering with you, and registering for our CBPs and registering their teachers to be wellness ambassadors. So I wish you all the best, and let us take this forward. You should organize more orientation programs, periodically, because you need to remind principals and teachers. And we as board are growing very rapidly. So we have a large number of schools who join us every year, fresh schools, who have no idea of the programs which are going on. So this is an ongoing process. And there's just no end. I mean, we can never say that we have completed this. It is a journey, and we are all on this important journey, and let's work together, all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We are grateful for your kind words of encouragement, and I think you were extremely inspirational. I think all principals need to understand the value of the different themes that you rightly mentioned about, that need to be told to an adolescent or a growing up child, which would actually help them. Thank you, ma'am, once again. I would now like to request Dr. Zoya Rizvi, Deputy Commissioner, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, to tell us about the adolescent health issues in India.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Nidhi ma'am. Good evening, Ram Shankarji, Dr. Saroj, Joyce, all of us who are here. I'm deeply honored to be a part of this orientation. So I will not waste time. I will quickly share a very short presentation, because I thought if whatever people see, they will actually remember. With me just speaking, people tend to forget. So I will just quickly share. Just let me know if you can see it. Can you see it? Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible, ma'am.
Okay, so as I have just 10 minutes, I will try and go quickly, but just pointing out that it was already mentioned that India is home to majority, highest population of adolescent. What is said that every fifth person you meet in the world is an Indian, and every fifth Indian is an adolescent. So that's a huge population which we are looking at. 10 to 19 years old age, 25 crores, which is already mentioned. But just to say that if you look at the distribution, we still continue to have majority of our young people in the rural areas vis-a-vis the urban. And of course, the literacy rate, this is based on the IIPS study, literacy rate of the 15 to 24-year-old children continues to be about 52% for boys and 48% for girls. This is as per the data which has been shared with us. If you go into the common adolescent health programs, we have, I think, managed to do quite well. If you just look at the trend of the decrease in age of marriage, less and less the number of girls are getting married before 18. Now it's just 23%. Prevalence of teenage pregnancy has gone down over the years. Last NFHS 5, if you see, which is 2019 to 21, now is just less than 7%. The percentage of women who are using safe menstrual hygiene practices also has gone down huge by about 20%, 20 points, which is 78%. So we are doing well vis-a-vis the health parameters. But yet, if you just look at the numbers, you do realize that 23% are still getting married before 7% of adolescent girls are still getting pregnant, and 22% of girls still do not have access to safe menstrual hygiene products. So this is where our work has to keep happening, has to continue. Continuing with the adolescent health problem, which is my topic, is if you look at even the anemia, we know that majority of our girls, about 60%, 59% of girls and 30% of boys continue to have some form of anemia, mild, moderate or severe. Majority, of course, is mild, but anemia is a very hidden illness, which I think ends up preventing a child to perform to the fullest. So it is important for us to quickly diagnose anemia and to treat anemia. Thinness and obesity. In fact, India is looking at two peaks in nutrition. We have underweight thin children, 37%, 39% of girls and 40% of boys are thin. That means their BMI is less than 18.5, and about 5.5 and 6.5% of girls and boys are obese also. So we are looking at a twin peaks of malnutrition in India. Hence the importance of nutrition education, which has to go through schools. Besides just thinness and obesity, we also have micro and micronutrient deficiency. If you look here, vitamin D or zinc, very illnesses which are found in the adolescent boys and girls. This data is based on the comprehensive nutrition survey which was done in India in 2016 to 2018, and it covered all the states. So malnutrition, overnutrition, undernutrition, anemia continue to be an issue. Hence the intervention through schools are very important for us. Mental health, which was mentioned, remains critical. If we look at the National Crime Records Bureau NCRB data for 2021, it says that 12 per lakh population is the incidence of suicide for all the population, but out of these, about 7% is in the ages less than 18, which is about 10,000 children who are losing their lives every year. That is a huge number for a country like India, and that is where the importance of addressing mental health, to destigmatize mental health, is really important. Before this, we also have the National Mental Health Survey data 2015-16, which says that 7.3% of boys and girls have mental health issues, and about 8 to 13% require help. So that's it. Again, we are looking at huge numbers. And since India has majority of young children who are attending schools, mental health intervention, awareness, stigma removal, start talking about mental health has to start in schools. And as Nidhi Madam has already said, we need more and more interventions for destigmatizing mental health, to give support to mental health. And even, in fact, here, if you look at the survey which was done in 2022 by NCRT only, which shows that 80% of children actually have anxiety related to studies, 43% have mood swings, 45% are dissatisfied by their own body image, and so on and so forth, if you see this. So mental health remains a very important issue for all school going children, and this is something which we need to work again and again. And like, again, I will go back to say, Nidhi Madam has said that we need to reinforce the issue of mental health with the principals now, with the teachers, and with the fresh ones who come and join with the children, so that it becomes a normal talk in the schools, and anybody who needs help can actually get help also by having trained teachers in school, by having counselors, by having peer educators, as was already mentioned. So no matter how many interventions we have for mental health, everybody should be able to access, and that is really very important. Next, if you look at education statistics, all of you are fully aware. I will not go through this. We know how many schools are there, what is the percentage of children, what is the number of children in all these schools. We have 26 crore of children who are going to our government aided schools, 50 lakh schools. All that data is there. In the school health and wellness program, which will be shared subsequently, quickly I will just say that within the school health and wellness program, we do have two teachers who are trained as health and wellness ambassadors. As Sarita has mentioned, they can be called health and wellness coordinators, which is just a play of words. So teachers trained to provide information on health and wellness is very critical, because teachers should be the first stop of care. Any child who needs help on health for health should be able to access first the teacher, and the teacher should be able to advise. Even if they are not able to advise, they should be able to refer the child to a nearest health institution. Hence the importance of building referral system also for the teachers. 24 weeks of interactive sessions, one per week, is envisaged, and like was mentioned, the two children per class should be trained, should be taken over as health and wellness messengers, who will support the health and wellness coordinators in school to hold the sessions on health and wellness. It should be normal that every week there's some discussion about health and wellness in schools, and becomes a routine about talking about health and wellness. We also have adolescent health and wellness days in school and community, which are quarterly activities, which are now spreading more and more into schools. Initially, they were envisaged in community, but as health and wellness program has come in schools in a big way, and numbers are increasing. So a lot of these health and wellness days are now being celebrated in schools, and teachers are really supporting it very well. So this is a big platform in which we are involving parents also, other health providers also, who come and who talk about the health of young people and the need to address it at the earliest. If I just look at the adolescent health program, quickly I will let you know that we do have a program which is called the Rashtriya Kishore Swasthya Karyakram, in which there are 4 interventions. One is the adolescent friendly health clinics, and that is a part of linkage of a child who has an issue of health can go to these adolescent friendly health clinics and can be given counseling or any commodity or even clinical services are given here across India. We have about 8,000 clinics which trained medical officers, ANMs and counselors who are placed here. Second is the weekly iron folic supplementation. We have the blue tablets, IFA tablets, which are given to prevent anemia for all school going children from class 6 to class 12. Third is the menstrual hygiene scheme, in which subsidized napkins are given to young girls who come to schools using the platform of schools or distribution by ASHA, depending from state to state. And lastly, the peer educator program, as Nidhi ma'am has already mentioned, about using peer educators as the, I think, a support system for health and not just mental health. So this peer educators program, which is being implemented, is both for in school as well as out of school. And these children are trained on various health aspects. Mental health is one. We have prevention of non-communicable diseases. We have anemia, nutrition, gender-based violence, mental health, and nutrition. So all those, they're trained about and sexual reproductive health. So all these themes they are trained on, and they can talk among their own group about these issues. And if need be, they also refer the children to the nearest health institution. So talking about health and referral are two main things which the peer educators do. And these can be in school or out of school. And finally, just to let you know, common things which are done in school, you are aware about the Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyakram, the mobile health teams, which come and examine every school going child once a year. That is happening for 32 illnesses and disease deficiencies and delays. Second is, we already, like I mentioned, WIF's IFA tablet is given. We have deworming in schools in February and August. Then we have provision of napkins and also age appropriate vaccination, which is TTTD, tetanus diphtheria, for class 5 and class 10. This can be for ages 10 to 16. And now, as time is, I think we are moving ahead in time, we will also be introducing HPV vaccine for in-school children. And health promotion, we are fully aware about the health and wellness coordinators in schools, trained teachers who take sessions with children, and of course, linking every child for health need with the nearest health institution is one very important prerequisite. I think my time is over. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I need to now stop sharing. Okay. So I think, thank you so much. This is an absolute pleasure, and look forward to any questions which come forward.
Thank you, Dr. Zoya Ali Rizvi. That was extremely informative. I think education and health are intrinsically linked together. And we all know that healthy children learn better. So it is definitely an appeal, a request to all the principals who are here with us today to kindly start implementing the school health and wellness program for the benefit of your learners. And we should leave no one behind. I would now like to request Professor Saroj Yadav, former Dean and Project Coordinator at NCERT. Ma'am, you're requested to kindly talk about the health and well-being and how it is being emphasized in the National Education Policy as well as in the National Curriculum Framework 2023. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Sarita. Good evening to everyone. Respected Madam Nidhi Chibbar, Dr. Zoya, Deputy Commissioner, Ms. Joyce, Sailendraji, Dr. Ram Shankar, who is playing a very important role in this, and my own colleague is going to join, Professor Amrendra Behra, and Ms. Sarita, definitely she is the, you can say, the pillar of this whole program. So what Dr. Zoya has presented, I think this is very important, and one of the, I'm very happy that Madam Chibbar has also realized the duplicacy of the, you can say, various programs. And we, in 1916 onwards, we started thinking even that both the ministries come together, that there should be one program, because many programs are creating confusion among teachers, among students, and even among other stakeholders. So we harmonized all the programs, means whatever programs were implemented in the states, because that time we were dealing with the states. So the life skill education program, the puberty education program, the population education program. So like that, all programs were harmonized, and both the ministries agreed that there should be one program titled as Health and Wellness Program in School, and the scope may be enlarged because all the areas are there. There are 11 themes are there. So she has very rightly presented, and we are very happy that Madam has also realized the duplicacy, because it may create problem or may create confusion among teachers and even among peer educators that there are two programs. No, I think all school have to work together and the objective is the same. So with this, I'll just make a presentation on integration, because we know that health and wellness is not a subject area, and it cannot be a subject area. And according to me, it should not be a subject area, because in school education system, how many subjects we are going to have? Though these days the new education policy is saying there can be multidisciplinarity, there can be many choices for the students. But at the same time, if this area is integrated, or rather I can say it should be institutionalized, become part and parcel of the all the existing system, then we will be able to create a permanent place in the content and process of education system. Therefore, once this educational concerns is integrated and is owned by the existing system and is taken care, then it will be continuously will be a part and parcel of all the processes. Processes means the curriculum renewal, when we are going to develop the syllabi, when our or we are going to revise our syllabi, or we are going to develop our textual material. So it will be part of that process. Similarly, in teaching, in evaluation, in teacher preparation. So it's very important that this area should be integrated in all the education system, even including in the teacher education courses. This is not that earlier it was not integrated. Most of the concerns were integrated, but the integration also requires a lot of training, lot of advocacy. So that is very, very important. And now we have a good chance that both the education policy, the new education policy 2020, as well as the National Curriculum Framework for School Education 2023, also provide a lot of scope for the integration of this area. And they both the document have realized the importance of this area. If we just see look at the NEP 2020, at 31 places the document talked about health. And for example, if I give little bit broad areas covered, like nutrition and health, which is very important. The policy says there is a large number of children who are undernourished. So nutrition and health should be given importance, and this should be talked about. Rather, they are talked about healthy meals, that even breakfast may be provided. So policy has taken into consideration, because as Dr. Joya has already presented, anemia. Not only anemia, there is a stunted growth, there is a wasted growth. So because of lack of nutrition also there, so the policy has realized it. Health checkup, growth monitoring, it is talked about. They are talking about fitness activities, wellness activities, collaboration, teamwork, problem solving, logical reasoning, constitutional values. Because one of our theme is also on promoting constitutional values. So gender sensitivity, environmental awareness, including water and resource conservation, and sanitation and hygiene. So the policy has also talked about, you can say, the issues faced by adolescent in terms of preventive health, mental health, psychosocial well-being, and substance or drug abuse, all forms of discrimination, harassment, including violence, safe and efficient mechanism for reporting. So we can say that so many things have been talked about in the policy. Even preventive health has been talked about, detrimental and managing effect of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. And the policy document also talked about that the school system should have health and well-being clubs. So if we see in detail, when at 31 places these things have been talked about, so we are expecting that when the curriculum means the syllabi and textbooks will be prepared for different subject area, definitely these will be taken into consideration. And I hope that not only policy, when the national curriculum framework is also recapitulating all these aspects, definitely the integration will be more efficient, more effective, and not only integration but institutionalization will also take place. If I say about the national curriculum framework for school education 2023, and it health as a word has been talked about 148 places. In policy, it was at 31 places, whereas in national curriculum framework, which is a huge document, 628-page document, at 148 places, this health has been talked about. Physical development, They have talked about what are the height and weight, how the children are growing during adolescence, emotional development at 84 places. And if we say emotional development related issues at 12 places, they has very comprehensively focused on emotional development. Similarly, on mental health issues at 8 places they have talked about gender, 81 places. There are other areas have also been reflected, you can say, in the national curriculum framework. Little bit detailed, if I say, under aims and curricular areas of school education. You can see out of 5, 6 aims, one of the aim is health and well-being. So health and well-being has been considered as one of the aim. They have talked about values and capacities. In three, the first chapter has been categorized into three. So when we talked about values also, they are talked about health and well-being as one of the value the document is propagating. Similarly, on skills also, developing skills and practices that enable student to lead a healthy life. So healthy life is also focusing. So in terms of objectives, in terms of values and attitudes, and in terms of developing capacities or you can say skills, the health and well-being have been focused very much. Under school stages also, if you see different school stages, for example, early childhood, middle, late childhood, adolescents, particularly on adolescent development, they are saying physical development, socio-emotional development, identity, self-esteem, change in height and weight. And then in mid and late adolescence, they are also talking about various growth related myths and misconceptions. And not only the content, but they have talked about role of families, role of peers, what should be the role of peers. So most important thing is that these will be integrated into the content and into the, you can see, even teacher training program. But your principal have a very important role, because even if integration is there and if the principal is not you can say enthusiastic or motivating or not, you can say appreciating the teachers, so the teachers may not give so much importance to it, because just knowledge is not enough. We have enough knowledge. 90 more than 90% children are aware about, you can say, smoking or HIV AIDS, but so far the comprehensive knowledge is concerned, that is with very few students or few, you can say, people. So knowledge itself is not enough. We have to, first and foremost, as a principal, I think you have to appreciate that this is an important area. Secondly, you have to encourage the teachers to organize various activities. Maybe we are able to train at the national level only few thousands of or few hundreds of, maybe few hundreds of principal and master trainers. But as master trainers, you have to encourage that more and more teachers need to be trained. So while you can say deputing teachers, you have to take care, because principal is the leader of the school, that good teachers, those who have good communication skill, those who have you can say motivation, those teachers may be nominated for the teacher training program. And then promoting activities into the school system, we should not consider these activities as just wastage of time, because you have seen the NCF and the NEP 2020 both have given emphasis on 4 pedagogies. And in school, these pedagogies are very, very important. They are saying the content may be reduced, but the participation of children in experiential learning activities, into, you can say, sports integrated learning activities, art. So art is one of the, you can say, type of activities, and storytelling. So these pedagogy need to be promoted, and this area promote all the 4 pedagogies. So we have, as a principal, we have to promote activities into the school system, and whole school approach you have to adopt, because integration in just textbooks is not enough. You have to sensitize the whole schools, the all staff members. That is also very important. And monitoring is very important, that you have to monitor, you have to provide feedback, you have to give guidance. Then this integration process will be more important. So if we see that integration is already there, and when the textbooks and the curricular material will be developed, definitely all the subject areas will have programs, all the subjects will have activities, and that need to be you can say organized into the school system. So you have to provide maximum participation to the students, and you have to encourage the teachers particularly so that they are motivated and organize activities into the school system. And we have seen ourselves that where such type of activities are organized, students are more happy, the teachers are also very happy, and the school's discipline is also better. So with this, I just stop my stop myself that you are the best leader. You know it. The only thing that you have to just appreciate it and give importance to this area. Thank you very much, and thanks. Namaskar to everyone.
Thank you, Professor Saroj Yadav. I think that was very important. You have highlighted how health and well-being have been addressed holistically, not only in the National Education Policy 2020, but also in the currently being developed NCF framework. I think it's extremely also critical where you mentioned and reiterated the roles that principals as school leaders can play in promoting and making a vibrant, safe, and health seeking environment, a good environment where children are happy and healthy and can learn better. So, thank you, ma'am. I would now like to request Ms. Joyce Pawar, Program Specialist at the UNESCO New Delhi office. Over to you, Joyce.
Hello, Sarita. Good afternoon, everyone. Dear Mrs. Nidhi Chiber and Mr. Ram Shankar from CBSE, Dr. Soya and Professor Yadav, my fellow UNESCO colleagues and participants to this online session, good afternoon to everyone. And I really hope that you're all staying warm and dry because here in UNESCO, at least from my window, it's really raining very heavily. I want to really welcome everyone that's participating in this sensitization session of health and well-being that's jointly organized by CBSE and UNESCO. And so, even though UNESCO and CBSE has started this journey together from the very beginning, I want to start by commending the commitment of CBSE for implementing this school health and well-being program under the leadership of its able chairperson, Mrs. Nidhi Chiber, and its director of training, Mr. Ram Shankar, who I think we met just a couple of weeks ago in Pune. It was a pleasure to see you both again. Allow me to also acknowledge, of course, Mr. Professor Behera, who I hope will join later, Dr. Zoya and Professor Saroj, and my UNESCO colleagues for their dedication to strengthen teachers' and learners' efforts to build healthy and happy lives. Additionally, I'm also very encouraged to see so many school principals and also participants, young learners, with us today, as it shows their own commitment and understanding to this very important topic. All of us gathered here today know the essential role that schools play in the well being of students, families, and their broader communities. Education and health are fundamental basic human rights for all, at the core of any human right, and it is essential for further social and economic development for all. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development shows that quality education, good health and wellness, gender equality, and human rights are intrinsically intertwined. And while there is universal evidence to suggest that healthy children have improved scholastic achievements, on the other hand, poor health can have detrimental effects on school attendance and academic performance. In schools, as the head of this formal institution, school principals play a significant role in determining whether the next generation is an educated and healthy one. So I encourage all principals, school leaders, education, health officials to work together towards making schools places that promote, protect, and nurture health. And as Professor Yadav was just mentioning, an entire whole school approach so that it can contribute to well-being, life skills, cognitive and social emotional skills, and healthy lifestyles in a safe and learning environment. We at UNESCO can assure you that you have our full support and partnership in taking this program forward. We have always believed that children and young people must have access to safe, inclusive, and health promoting learning environments. There is always something to learn. There is always something to improve. And I congratulate the many, many different institutions that came together, CBSE, NCRET, the Ministry of Health, the Centers of Excellence, and school principals for this excellent collaboration to promote health and well-being. And I really wish all more power to you all, and you can be assured of UNESCO support at the helm of Sarita. Thank you very much, and over to you, Sarita.
Thank you, Joyce, for those encouraging words. Thank you so much. And now we're going to talk about monitoring. We all know that what we treasure, we measure. And we all understand why it is important to monitor and evaluate the program that we are doing. And with us today, we have the UNESCO Institute for Statistics, our statistical advisor, Mr. Shailendra Sigdal, joining us here today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sarita. Before I start, you have given us in a nice statement, better than my speech. So I'm a little bit hesitating. That's what to say. So definitely, the Madam Nidhi Chibber, it was really pleasure to seeing you for the first time. And Dr. Joya, Professor Yadav, my colleague Joyce, Ram Sankarji, he is still smiling. Very happy to see you. And other colleagues. So here, I want to make it more lighter than giving too many lectures on these slides. So I'm not saying that those who have shown presentation was not nice. I think monitoring and evaluation it has to come from your mind and your brain and your working strategy. It has to the monitoring evaluation is, like you must have heard about it has a formative evaluation, you have a summative evaluation. I'll not go for the, like the most, like a technical part. Monitoring is also continuous process. When you see the term, the monitoring process, it's an input monitoring, process monitoring, output, like the present program doesn't go more than output, but it has a linkage with the outcomes and the impact as well. So how to monitor? You all are aware that the questionnaire, the template, whatever you say, CBSE and the UNESCO has developed. But it has also a question that's, like after training participants on the CBP, how to ensure that the teachers would conduct the classroom session, completing all 11 sessions. So when you say all 11 session, how do you measure? If you take all 11 session, then you say completed, or maybe, like you say only after doing one, or in that way, I think so whenever you do, it's all 11 sessions you have to complete. It's not only one session or two session, or if you want to, like do in a function, in a daily gathering, saying that's okay, one day, today, and finish it. No, I think you have to do the proper way, what, our colleague has been guiding to us. And when there is a classroom session held, how to monitor them? Each school, how many children receive session? So how do you measure it? How many session? How many children have received? Sometimes it's an issue of attendance. Like sometimes you calculate only those who are in the classroom enroll, but basically you have to also think about attendance. But how to monitor? You go, you see how many children have done attendance and then classroom. That you have to think and you have to monitor that way. And what are the interpretation and implementation? One of the things last time also I was mentioning that implementation means it's a complete 11 models, not 1-2 models. How to do it? There is a template, there is a checklist how you can do it. Which part you have completed, which part you have not completed, which maybe we'll do this one. Is also required a calendar of operation of each of the person who will be delivering this. The one of the things I really emphasize that, you must be aware that the performance grading scale, PGI, the MOE has recently released. The structure of PGI, state, UT, have been heavily, titled towards the indicator related governance procedure. It also in line with the NEP 2022, NEP 2022 to monitor the indicator relating to SDG 4, Goal 4, the new PGI structure covers 73 indicators. But all these 73 indicators, all the principal has contributed, because the data which have been collected from the school. That way, in a way, you are not doing this type of monitoring. At the same time, you are also contributing to the bigger things at the global level and at the national level. And one of the things, how to the monitoring, another part is the feedback mechanism. How do you collect the feedback? If I say one of the things, health and wellness coordinators, did you hear from them how it has been done, how many school has done, what way it has been done, and did you also hear from your learners, from the student, what they have learned, what you have delivered? They all have digested these things, or they have not digested? I always make fun when in the in-person meeting, some of if have participated. I say that in the South Asian, sometimes they say this means also yes, this means also yes, this means also yes. So in a way, if you ask the children, most of the cases they don't say that they have not learned. But you have to make a mechanism that what they have learned, that comes the monitoring and evaluation, monitoring part. That's whatever it is. But ultimate goal of doing this monitoring is what? Is to contribute in the learning. One of the aspect is definitely, healthy children learn a lot compared with unhealthy. But at the same time, if you compare, if you see that with these interventions, how many children has increased the learning level, maybe pass rate, maybe in the NAS, whatever the NCERT does, would be a very good idea to look at, so that whatever you have done, its impact can also you can see. The last one, I would say that the communication is really important part. Whatever you have done, how to communicate. You have to communicate with all the stakeholder in a way that's the language they understood. For example, some of the cases is not number is not important. Maybe the testimony of what you have learned, and some of the case study, how you have delivered, how you have interacted with the classroom, how you have interacted with the stakeholder, how you have interacted with the school children, would be a very good idea to share with the other colleagues, other participants, so that they can learn from whatever innovative ideas you have and you have introduced. Nobody perfect in the world. Everybody has a one way to deliver. So, but the one best, the idea, one best way of deliver can learn by others and also contribute in the learning. The last point is one really sometime, whenever we do this kind of thing, we see it from the narrow in a narrow way. But don't think that way, because through this exercise, it will be largely contributing of the SDG 4, where the government international committee, including India, has committed to achieve it. In that way, I think you are doing a great job, and you are the owner of this work. That's why we are not the owner, you are the owner. Whatever you do, it reflects to us, it reflects to student, it reflects to national commitment, it reflects to the international commitment. And whenever you have an issue on this area, my colleague Sarita is more than expert to help you, to guide you, to suggest you. And without the saying that, Professor Yadav is always with us. I stop here. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. I think it's always great to hear from you, and thank you for highlighting the importance of monitoring to get feedback from your teachers, from your health and wellness coordinators, and most importantly, from the learners. I was just sharing today earlier with some of the principals that when I was in school, I never got an opportunity to learn about these issues. So I think our principals are the best suited to implement this program meaningfully, and not just say that, yes, we've done this program, and because ultimately it has to benefit each and every learner. So thank you, sir. I would now like to request Dr. Ramshankar ji, Director Training CBSE. I'd like to share that all the progress made until now has been because of the commendable leadership of Madam Nidhi Chipper and also Dr. Ramshankar ji, who has been leading this program. And we are very grateful for his cooperation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sarita ji. Honorable Chairperson of the Board, Srimati Nidhi Chhabbar ji, Dr. Zoya Ali Rizvi ji, Professor Saroj Yadav ji, Saran Sikdar ji, Jai Spon ji, Dr. Amrendra Behra ji, all principals of the CBSE system and heads of the COEs, Prashant ji, my CBSE team at headquarters. First of all, I would like to thank UNESCO for coming with this wonderful idea and program. Really, it is required. So almost we are completing 1 year of collaboration. And as Honorable Chairperson said, yes, it's a wonderful outcome we had, but many things we have to do. So already the background, requirement, scope, need, and utility we have discussed. So I'm not going to repeat. So this is my only 2-3 points I would like to focus. As we are aware that many batches have been trained at Delhi, so each and every center of excellence has the master trainers. So many other batches have been planned, and very soon COEs, the respective COEs will be contacted and requested to nominate the master trainers. My request will be to all principals and the Center of Excellence heads that nominate the teachers as master trainer who have willingness, good communication skills, and they are ready to serve the purpose. So that is very, very important. And nominate good teachers for prospective resource person programs. So the role of principals, school principals, is very important. At the same time, the role of the heads of the COEs is also important. As far as the NEP 2020 is concerned, in NEP 2020, it is mentioned that each and every teacher, including principals, will attend minimum 50 hours continuous professional development program. So that provision has been adopted and adapted by the CBSE. Now, in CBSE system, each and every teacher has to attend minimum 25 hours CPD from the Center of Excellences of the board and 25 hours other than the board. So it is our responsibility to nominate good teachers, and same time we have a good system of the hubs of learning. So hubs may also come forward. They may also organize programs, and sahodayas. So interested sahodayas may also come and organize the programs. Same time, your feedback is equally important. So teachers who are attending the programs, master trainers who are executing the programs, please share your experiences and feedback with us. So we can incorporate the important points on annual basis in that document. It will help and it will be more acceptable to the audiences. So role of the COEs, many times some orientation programs and even in informal meetings we have shared that this is one of the most important program of the training unit. So all principals are requested to nominate, participate actively, and in interest of the students, their active participation is required. I hope this collaboration will serve the purpose, and in coming years, it will be reaching to the maximum teachers of the CBSE system. Thank you once again. Thank you, UNESCO team. Joyce ma'am, thank you very much. And all team members of the UNESCO. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramshankarji. Thank you for inspiring us, and we assure you of the collaboration. And we really look forward to joining hands with CBSE in strengthening this program and making sure that it reaches all the schools uniformly, everyone that is associated with the CBSE. We are very delighted to have with us Professor Amarendra Behera. Sir has joined us, and I'd like to, everybody, I'm sure everybody knows Professor Amarendra Behera. He's a joint director in NCRT. He's from CIET NCRT. And Professor Behera has been one of our strongest allies and helped us in strengthening this collaboration and working with CBSE and ensuring that NCRT is also an integral part of this journey. So over to you, Professor Behera. Sir, we'll come back to you in 5 minutes, sir. If you could please reconnect with us again. Thank you, sir. I'd like to now, I think all of us know the importance of listening to children's voices, our main target audience. While we say that, yes, we've done a number of trainings with our centers of excellence, we've had a number of trainings with all of you, some of you principals who are over here. We've had two batches of training, as I mentioned, one in August 2022 and one in earlier this year in May 2023. 4 batches of principals, teachers, and counselors have been trained. However, we're very interested to know how is this program being implemented in the schools? How are the learners gaining from it? And how valuable is this program for our adolescents, for our young children? I think that is why we really like to hear from our young learners. What do they have to say about this program? How have they benefited from this program? So today we have with us 3 very young learners. I will call out their names and then request them to speak briefly to share about how has been your experience of attending sessions on health and well-being in your schools. Please let us know, please share with us, because it would be a good learning for us to see how we are going, what needs to be done, and how we can further strengthen the program. So without much delay, I'd like to invite Dipankar Saha. Dipankar, could you please speak? Over to you, Dipankar.
Very good evening, one and all present here. I'm Dipankar Shah, and I would like to extend my gratitude towards CBSE, NCERT, and UNESCO for giving me this opportunity to be speaking amidst such eminent personalities. As a student, I've always been the one to stick out. I've always been someone who's been different, and it has always been very hard for me to accept myself for who I am. Uh, as a student, I've faced a lot of anxieties, uncertainties, a lot of stress because of studies. And also, this has caused a lot of mental health problems for me. And all of this has accumulated over the time, and I was not able to actually express it. I was not able to connect it with other students. I always felt that it was just me. But this program, the Child Health and Welfare Program, has actually made me understand that this is not just me. There are much more other adolescent students who have also experienced the same, and we are all in this together. It has made me experience this solidarity with them, and it is this that has made me realize the importance of this program. Health, welfare, and education are threads of the same tapestry. We cannot alienate them from one another. It is very important that we realize the significance that they have on each other. As a person, it has been very hard for me to accept myself, but this program has let me see who I truly am, and I've been able to identify myself. The recent session that we had, where we had done a SWOT analysis, that is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and challenges. That is when I actually realized what my strengths and weaknesses are. Accepting my weaknesses was actually what enabled me to work upon them and to channel my weaknesses into strengths. And I feel this channeling, this direction, this path is needed to benefit. This needed to benefit students from other schools too. I feel this is a very integral aspect of education, because without health and welfare, you cannot have education. You need social, digital, physical, and mental well-being for quality education. Thank you.
Thank you, Dipankar. We are actually thankful to you, and we are very delighted to know that this program has been beneficial and it is helping you and your classmates and students and the community as a whole. I'd like to now request Arya Goyal. Arya, if you could please come online. Thank you, Arya.
Good evening, everyone. I'm a girl of Class 8. I would like to share my experience about the wellness program. I was a shy and quiet kid. Although I was good in academics, I wasn't able to express myself in front of my classmates and teachers. This program is a and has very one of the modules was on emotional and mental well-being. That I saw a video in which there was a girl who was reluctant to express herself just like me. I was so inspired by her story that I wrote my problem on a piece of paper and put it in the drop box in my school, in the wellness room. My teachers resolved my problem and encouraged me to participate in the school program and activities. I participated in the school program and felt and gained confidence. Then I started participating in the school programs and activities and also won some prizes. I'm so fortunate that this program is going on in our school and encouraging children like me to overcome their fear. Thank you.
Thank you, Arya, for sharing about your story. Now over to you, Prajwal. Prajwal, आप अपने आप को unmute करके you can please talk to us.
गुड आफ्टरनून एवरीवन, सभी गुरुजनों को मेरा सादर प्रणाम। मेरा नाम प्रज्वल है और मैं विद्या विकास पब्लिक स्कूल बोड़िया रांची की 9वीं कक्षा का छात्र हूँ। आज मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि मुझे अपने विचारों को साझा करने का अवसर प्राप्त हुआ। जब मेरे विद्यालय में हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस प्रोग्राम का आयोजन हुआ तब मैंने अपने अंदर एक नए जोश और अनुभव की प्राप्ति की। गत वर्ष मेरे पिता के मृत्यु के बाद मैं पूरी तरह से टूट गया था। मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था। मुझे मेरा जीवन अंधकार में लगने लगा था। तभी मेरे विद्यालय में आयोजित हेल्थ एंड वेलनेस के विभिन्न मॉड्यूल्स जैसे मेंटल एंड इमोशनल वेलबीइंग और इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशनशिप को सुन और समझकर मुझे आभास हुआ, नहीं, मैं इतने जल्दी हार नहीं मान सकता। मुझे अपनी माता को संभालना है तथा अपने लक्ष्य की भी प्राप्ति करनी। इन्हीं सभी मॉड्यूल्स को सुन और समझकर मैं एक सुंदर विकास की ओर बढ़ते चला गया और आज के समय में मैं अपनी जिंदगी की सबसे कठिन से कठिन समस्याओं का समाधान निकालने में सक्षम हूँ। साथ ही साथ अपने सहपाठियों के समस्याओं को भी कर लेता हूँ। पहले जिन भावनाओं को मैं साझा करने में घबराता था और भावुक हो जाता था, आज उन सारी भावनाओं को मैं आप सबके सामने प्रदर्शित कर रहा हूँ। मेरे हिसाब से इस प्रोग्राम की इससे बड़ी कोई उपलब्धि हो ही नहीं सकती। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Prajwal. Shukriya आपको. Now I'd like to request Professor Amrendra Behera, sir, if you could kindly address the principals. I think it's probably the rains, and that's creating a little bit of a problem in technology. Sir, are you able to hear us?
His appearance is more than enough at this stage. Let's rely on this. I think we have got the message, the good wishes, good vibes from him. So that's more than enough. Don't like maybe because of the rain, because of the something technical issues, he's not been able to
Okay,
address
sure,
us.
sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much. There have been, we had actually scheduled a session which is on question and answer. And there were a lot of questions that we actually received from principals from across the country. We had requested them. But due to paucity of time, I see that we just have 15 minutes left. And due to paucity of time, we will just take a few questions. And we've summarized the questions, and I will read out the questions. And of course, Saroj ma'am is here with us. And for those who have come to Delhi and for those who have heard her speak, she was one of the main pillars behind development of the school health and wellness programs. So we are very fortunate to have her with us and guide us throughout this process. One of the questions that we have received is if you could please guide the principals about the implementation of the school health and wellness program, how it can be implemented properly, ma'am, between grades 6 to 12, and all the 11 themes can be covered beautifully, because when we came out and when the National Resource Group came out with these 11 themes, there was a lot of brainstorming and discussion that happened. And then finally we came out with these 11 themes which touch upon the life of an adolescent very meaningfully. So could you please guide us all about how this can be implemented in all the schools?
Yeah. I think, Ms. Sarita, this is the crux of the whole program, how to implement it. And a lot of effort have gone into it. So in the beginning, rather, we thought that it should be from pre-primary to, you can say, class 12. But later on, we thought that let's focus on class 6 to 12. So from class 6 to 12, there is a training and resource material has been developed. And it covers 11 themes. And these themes are developed, you can say, age appropriately, culturally very, you can say, specific, taking the culture into consideration, and developmentally means as the children will grow, there are activities which can be organized at class 6 level. There are activities which can be organized at class 9th, 11th and 12th level. So like that material has been developed. Since in our country we have large number of schools, large number of teachers, large number of students, and it's very difficult to reach to each and every teacher from the national level. So what it was thought that let's train first master trainers, as CBSE and through UNESCO, master trainers are being trained, and these master trainers are supposed to train 2 teachers. So we thought that at least every school have 2 teachers, which can be called as health and wellness. In CBSE's coordinator, in states health and wellness, so you can say ambassador. Ambassador means that they have to carry the information, the material, the message, the activities to the school level. So in CBSE, they are called as health and wellness, you can say, coordinator. Each 2 trained teachers will also trained, at least from each class, 2 health and wellness messengers. This in CBSE, I think peer educators have also been trained. So those peer educators can be reoriented again, because the program is very closely related to each other. Even in peer education program, the content are almost the same. In health and well-being program, the content are the same. So it's good that because skills cannot be developed only in once or twice organizing the program. If we are involving students again and again, definitely we are going to build the, you can say, their knowledge, their skills, their attitude, their values, which are very important. So this is 11 themes have been, you can say, taken into consideration. For implementing this program, the CEOs and the principals have to depute resourceful, motivated, and teachers who can communicate, and also those teachers whom the students can have their trust. They should keep the things confidentially of the students should maintain. So such teachers need to be nominated by you as a principal. If they are trained, you have to, as a principal, you have to create a supportive environment also. Because if the environment, if you do not respect, if you do not appreciate the program, even the trained teacher will not be able to do it. So they have to integrate not only in content and process, means while teaching the subject area, but also the whole school approach. Mean any program they are organizing, I think the issues or concerns of this program need to be integrated. And for your reference, we can share an annual activity calendar also, because you have to do. But I agree with Mr. Sailendra, activity not for the sake of activity. Activity, you can say, you have to really involve children so that they can learn, participatory, experiential learning. And this material will provide you an opportunity that you can involve the children into the activity. Because generally we say we have organized morning assembly and we have conducted the activity, but that does not, that can give some information, but cannot make a dent on the attitude or on the, you can say, mind of the children. So you have to, you can say, you have to take a lot of steps and for the implementation of this program.
Thank you, ma'am. Professor Behra has joined back again. Thank you so much, sir, for taking the effort to be with us here today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Saritaji, esteemed colleagues from UNESCO, from CBSE, and esteemed Professor Saroj Yadav ji. and esteemed teachers and all the students, those who are participating in this program. My best wishes and congratulations. And I must mention that health and wellness is key for any intellectual and physical work. So let us do everything to keep our students fit and healthy. So because we all know that a sound mind in a sound body, and NCRT will be happy to provide all support, online, offline, resource, whatever. So all the best to UNESCO and CBSE. Will be happy to provide any support required for scaling the number of teachers in our country, especially in the CBSE affiliated schools. So thank you very much once again, and best wishes.
Thank you so much, sir. You have always been a great partner, and we are very, very lucky. On behalf of CBSE and UNESCO, we are extremely fortunate to have you as a partner, to have you as an ally, and help us in strengthening this entire process. Thank you so much, sir. Now, coming back to the next question, if I am allowed to continue, Ramshankarji, should I continue, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I think another very important question that has come up is the role of parents. How can parents be involved in this program? What is the role of the health and wellness messengers in taking the messages back to the families and the communities, ma'am? Because I was recently interacting with some schools and a lot of principals have said, what about parental involvement? So over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, very right questions, and it's very important because even when we started this adolescence education program, and the conditions were first that you have to do the need assessment. Secondly, you have to have advocacy with the parents also, because otherwise one word the child may speak in their home and the parents will think that something the child is not studying well, rather he is indulging in some bad activity. So it's very important that we have to involve the parents in crucial activities. Some advocacy program or sensitization program of the parents should be held, for example, on growing up healthy, because the parent can play a very important role in helping the children to grow healthy. There are many myths and misconceptions. Balanced diet, what to eat, what not to eat, so that they can do it. Even for their helping them to build their own identity. And thirdly, safe use of internet. If you have gone through today's newspaper, one child has, you can say, put child pornography on his Instagram, and he used his mother's phone for doing this. Now FIR has been launched against the mother. So it means the parents also have to be very much aware that what is happening. And if they are aware about those 11 themes, if they have been given little bit of information or knowledge about 11 themes, I think they can contribute towards their holistic development. Even NEP 2020 also says it is not only the role of the school, it is the role of the community, role of the parents also to help in the holistic development of the child. So I think parents' role is very, very important. And as a trained teachers and principal, they can sensitize them during their annual meeting or during their parent-teacher meeting about this area. This will help them also. This will help the children also. And this will, you can say, in the long run to the society also.
Thank you, ma'am, for highlighting the need to engage with parents. Last but not the least, I'm very mindful of the time. It's 5:23 and we have 7 minutes to wind up. So I will take only one more question, and that is about a topic which we've discussed very briefly before, that how can principals monitor the successful implementation of this program? Because at the end of the day, what we are looking at is not just data and statistics. We are really looking at meaningful implementation of this program, where we are touching the lives of millions of young people, adolescents, in a very, very special way. So how can principals monitor this program?
Sarita, you are allowing me to enter Salendaji's area. He has already discussed in detail about what
No, it's your area.
But I think
I can add some.
monitoring is very, very important. And most of the program are not successful because follow-up is not there. Monitoring is not there. We are just training the teachers, we are preparing the material, we are talking to the principals, but we leave there. So I think the principals are very much here, and if they play this crucial role in monitoring the programs, means that those trained teachers are health and wellness ambassadors. They have already prepared a plan of action. So plan of action doesn't mean just covering, as he has rightly said, number, but actually what has gone into the system. When I heard those students, this shows that really they are organizing activity. They have realizes that how they were stressed and how this stress can be, you can say, how these activities can be helpful to them to remove the stress. So it means the principle that how many activities can be organized, 24 hours we are saying, but 20, maybe more than 24 hours. For example, not just organizing parent or you can say assembly meetings, but role plays, case studies, storytelling, group discussions. So these are very important activities that they have to organize into the system. They have to do the need assessment also, because that will be a part of their monitoring. If they do the need assessment, what are the issues, what are the myths and misconceptions existing in with the students? So why not to organize those activities which are more crucial? So as a principal, for monitoring, you are first to identify the crucial, you can say, problem. Then you have to motivate the teachers to organize the activities. Then you have to motivate the student to participate. And then they have to provide the information also. Because, for example, you are implementing, CBSE is implementing just not the number, but the activity, the types of activities they are organizing. So it's very important that this monitoring should happen. And UNESCO and CBSE are jointly developing a microsite, because that microsite to monitor the entire program. For example, just like Nishtha, whatever activities, whatever program, whatever pictures, even those their photographs. Sometimes we are posing the photographs, but the photograph should be of activities, how they have done the role play. And if they have their school, you can say website, on school website also they can place those activities so that other can also see it. So all principals have to take the feedback forms, and I think UNESCO and CBSE is going to develop a monitoring schedule on the basis of which you are going to collect information, maybe on a quarterly basis, or maybe, or you can say monthly basis, that you will decide. But this microsite will help us to provide information. And I think this program is not only the program for others. Even we as a principal, we as a teacher, we as a parents also learn a lot from it. So the monitoring is very, very important if we want the success of the program. Ji, thank you.
So,
Okay.
would you like to add on?
I think I take it only two point any which we have I've already mentioned. One is communication. The communication is not only from one side, because the way we monitor, we see that I'm an administrator. I have all the right to ask you thousands things, but doesn't want to hear from you. If this attitude goes, you are gone. I think the communication should be two ways. It's not only providing you do these things, but what kind of problem you are facing, what kind of encouragement you need, what kind of support you need. It is a two ways of communication. The only things works well. Otherwise, one-way communication doesn't work. The second thing is the feedback. Once you receive this something, you have to also proactive and saying that what is happening in these processes. The number is all the output, the process, how you have done it, how many students are involved, how they have involved, half an hour, 15 minutes. These things makes your life much easier to understand in depth. Until and unless the school principal doesn't have the concrete knowledge on how it has been delivered, what are the issues you have been facing, and how you can provide support to the teachers and the other necessary, it will be a miss. That's why I think so the two, communication and the feedback would be a crucial part of the monitoring. So I stop here.
Thank you. Ma'am, we are unable to hear
There
you.
should be some visits also. The people at a higher level should see what is happening in the field. Thank you.
Absolutely. And today earlier, I was at Dr. Ramshankar's office and he has already instructed his centers of excellence that don't just direct, go to the CBPs, interact with the facilitators, interact with the trainees. What are they gaining? What are they learning? And make sure that we have feedback, because this entire success of this program depends on the capacities of the teachers, of the health and wellness coordinators, and we cannot compromise on their training. So that's something that's very crucial, which he has highlighted as well. We have exactly 1 minute left, and I'd like to request my colleague Prashant Yadav to offer the vote of thanks. Over to you, Prashant.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. So, good evening, everyone. I, on behalf of UNESCO New Delhi and myself, would like to appreciate CBSE under the leadership of Madam Nidhi Chibber, Chairperson CBSE, for this collaborative effort between UNESCO and CBSE. It is UNESCO's privilege and opportunity to work with CBSE and NCRT together in this important initiative. I express my thanks to all the officials of CBSE, especially Dr. Ramshankar, Director Training, Dr. Sandeep Jain, Joint Secretary Training, Mr. Sanjeev Srivastav, Under Secretary Training, for supporting and showing eagerness for this program. Also, I express my gratitude to Professor Amrendra Behra, Joint Director, NCRT, Dr. Zoya Ali Rizvi, Deputy Commissioner, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ms. Joyce Pond, Program Specialist Education, Ms. Shailendra Sigdal, Statistical Advisor UIS, Ms. Sarita Jadhav, National Program Officer, UNESCO, for their support and presence in the meeting. My sincere thanks goes to Professor Saroj Yadav, former Dean Academic NCRT, for a kind support, guidance, and commitment to take this program forward. I would like to thank all the principals for sparing their valuable time and attending this orientation session. I hope this session has provided key insights about the background and implementation of school health and wellness program in CBSE affiliated schools. Finally, I would like to thank Dipankar, Arya, and Prajwal, who have beautifully shared their life experiences and showcased how this program has supported them. I wish you all a very good evening. Thank you so much.